Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending where you're catching me from. My name is Ruth Kerubo, the CEO and founder of Teach Christ International. So this week I wanted to do a consultancy video in some groups, and you get to find there are different challenges that teachers face. One such challenge is late syllabus coverage, and sometimes how to get to motivate the learners. Sometimes it's really discouraging, and I really get it. Okay, brief background about me. So I started school in a kindergarten, and because my parents used to live in a school complex, they were teachers, and they still are here in the education sector. So in primary there was this teacher I think I used to fail. Imagine a student, a teacher's kid failing. Second last, that was my portion. And at that time the teacher wrote on the report card that I'm unconyarable. So in Kisii, konya means help. So when someone says you're unhelpable, already it reflected a bad attitude. So my dad was really mad, and no, he is that physical man. I think he would have done something weird, because really that was lowering someone's self-esteem. And in any case, we have a lot of talents. I say, not everyone is academically gifted, and there are very many things that we don't set. You just can't choose one parameter and say this person cannot be helped. So where does my journey start? My mom. From that day henceforth there was a change. I used to use most of my time loitering, around the school playing, and now it was now not business as usual. She brings charts, files, and I had to sit and study. Literally, she was coaching me, and I'm so grateful. It hurts when you're helping other people's children to succeed while yours doesn't. So I think that motivated her to help me. I know it's really hard, to teach your own kid. Like sometimes I try to teach even my own daughter, and it can be hard, even the concentration span. But I thank God, at least for my mom, she was into that early childhood development education, so she's a professional. She knew how to handle me, and yeah, so we continued. Along the way, my dad got a transfer, so we also had to go to another place. So we go to another place, and now there's still that stiff competition, but at least this time I'm getting exposed. My mind is opening up. I'm now in low grade, yeah, the lower primary, around class 2. Yeah, and I'm starting to improve. Number 2 there. I got quite a good foundation because it was an academy, results had to be produced. And I'm grateful for my dad, because she could attend all meetings and even come with gifts to give my teachers, like a torch. Yeah, like Mr. Iko, he used to wake up very early and come to school to teach us math. Though nilikula viboko, but what I can say is that the best gift as a parent you can do to a teacher is bringing a respective child, and I was that child. Yeah, so they handled me well. My mom could actually wake me up. I have always had a problem of waking up. Even right now, if it would not work, shida zako tu zinakuamsha. I think I'm not cut for the morning. No, I'd rather be an night owl. Yeah. But what was I saying? So my journey continues. In class 4, my mom even brings me a success card. I felt so much appreciated. And my uncle also, around that time, he had come back. So he could bring us gifts. How much did you score? And sometimes we used to live with relatives, and they could go through the report form and be like, yeah, it's above average. Sometimes it was out of 500 and you have maybe 250 to 70, and they're like, you can do better than this. Or what does your number one in your school eat? Anakula mboga gani? So I will ask myself, and I'm like, at that time, remember my uncle had done a double tired degree, like where it is a bachelor's with a master's. So I used to wonder, how does one get a master's? I'm yet to get it, but I hope God will make me fulfill that plan in my lifetime. So I used to be challenged. I remember at one point I was converting mass from kgs to grams. Like a quarter is how many, a quarter kg is how many grams. And my dad used to beat me. I almost hated math because of that beating. But looking back, I think they really helped. Maybe it was an aggressive way. But some of us fear kings. So again, we got to another transfer, and I got to another school. So in another school, again, I made stiff competition. Students, learners were not willing to share their books. Yet my mom, because most books were borrowed from her school, she would prefer that I use them only at home. So you can imagine it was a battle. So mom doesn't want you to bring the books because I was a bit careless. Yeah, and I admit I was. Yeah, because for the books that some of the books that I ever went with to school never came back because they were so interesting. Then at around, now that is 2010, yeah, around 2010, yeah. My dad brings me books, even on he brings me a kamusi. That's the first time I had my first kamusi karne. Love you, daddy. So he brings me even those books, and that's one thing. Parents need to create a stimulating environment even for their kids. Actually, in our home, being an SDA family, yeah. So you find, like, even when we go for camps, there are books that are sold over the August camps, and we have that habit, a culture of buying books, like literally Ellen G. White's yote estate tuko nayo. Ukikuja vitu kama za Nancy Von Paul, sijui smart family, smart adolescent, smart what, everything. Like, so yeah, somehow maybe it's to compensate for the time that they were away, but I can say those books built us really. You first, they made life interesting. We even got that reading culture, and I can see a reader is a leader. Actually, it helped me even during my campus years when I was applying for the post of Congress lady, because I would have to wake up early in the morning, read something from John Maxwell's on leadership or John Oyedepo, and it will propel me. Some of the things I think I had to even grow, be an adult when I was still young. Like I knew loyalty today doesn't mean loyalty tomorrow. Some of these things, transformative leadership. So even when I received my certificate, like I received it proudly because it was a distinction, and I really had worked for it. So even by the time the program was running, I used to answer those questions like pa pa pa. You see, that's one thing. So buying books to stimulate. Then my parents used to check grades. You know, some parents really are not into academics. I mean, you invest money and you're not willing to even see how much returns are. Are you even serious? So, um, I've even forgotten. Oh, so yeah, like for me, even at campus level, um, as a firstborn, I've always said the best. The parent paid the fee without fail, so I also have the obligation to give them their results, the result slip. And where I fail, I admit that I did ABCD, yeah, and they get to comfort you. And where you've done good, they buy you presents. Imagine even in campus, if I showed them my GPA where I had improved, they could even send me some chicken, and I'm forever grateful to have such a support system. I even miss them, right? So, and I wish to do better, even for my parents, for my children. So, another thing is follow up on a parental level. So, um, we'll continue in the next video, and I will tell you my experience now as a teacher, what happens.